Good evening, everybody. I'm the Sith Trader. Welcome to another Globex Open. We are waiting for that 10-minute opening range to set up to begin the ForceSweep and get on the hunt for that trade. I was a little bit of a donkey yesterday. I let my own ego get the better of me. Well, CVD and some other indicators I used to qualify it. That got me convinced that the great defense on the trades I had on should have swapped back into the trade I knew would have worked. Just the Globex ForceSweep. All that being said, we had a 10-minute opening range picking up right where the day session left off. So that makes things a little bit easier because then those day session levels become important. Right now, we basically have a massive range between 30,600 and 30,156. We're right in the middle of it. So either way with the ForceSweep this evening, and we'll see how things do. Remember, trading features involves risk and is not suitable for everybody. Everything I talk about here today is just my own opinion and not a direct trade recommendation. Let's get after it here tonight, folks. I'm vengeful. I want vengeance for last night.
Here we go.
While we're waiting for that 10-minute opening range to set up, I'm gonna... Wow, what did I just do? No, that's cool. While I am waiting for that 10-minute opening range to set up, I want to remind everybody, head over to X. Hit me up on Sith Trader, send me a reply. It's pinned on my X account there, at Sith Traders on X. Take a shot here at the Lucid giveaway I'm doing. 50k Lucid Pro eval for the top, or the winner. A 50k Lucid Flex eval for second place and a 25k Lucid Pro email for third place. Pretty simple. Submit a 30-second video winning feature straight at risk management screenshot or your how I would conquer a Lucid eval post. So I find out chosen by me this Friday night. I'll pick a 5 to 10 depending on how many we get. And then we're going to open it up to an X or Twitter poll where you, the contestants and everybody else in the world, are going to vote for the top 3. The top 3 will be awarded one of those free Lucid evals. Thank you, Lucid, for giving those, and by all means, head over to Lucid and check them out. Use code SIF. You haven't already. Alright, we got 3 more minutes until the opening range is set up. I'm not going to be a donkey tonight. We're going to get some money back in my own Lucid funded accounts, which I took some heat in. Some losses on yesterday. I've actually been kind of in the process of just proverbially crushing Bitcoin lately, which I'll give some time here to kind of discuss my strategy again, or what I do there. I'm short, and there's no reason to be long here, folks. I'm actually basically net short from this bad boy. Looking for a move down to 60,100. I've been in and out of this trade all day. The way I trade a breakout of footage is you can take those payouts is, I trail the stop down. When I get hit, I'll get out and I'll get back in on a stop in, but below, thresholds and levels. Or, in this case, I got back in, and have reloaded a few times. So I've taken like $3,000 of payouts today. It's just in this chop, which I'm very proud about myself. Which, and now, on top of that, now I'm sitting in a breakout position, short for Bitcoin for a move down here from basically right up here at 63,700. But this setup is fairly easy. Let me get rid of the pointed controls or those buying profiles on it, because what I want you to see is real simple. We had we've had basically a series of VWAPs of, hey, that's the last trade I had kind of talked about yesterday was a move down to the 64,800. It was basically just this VWAP short down to this third standard deviation. So the anchored VWAP from this high here on June 26th, or there's a reason I came to that one. I'll get to that in a second. But you just have to trust the idea that this anchored VWAP was getting reactions. It got a reaction. It finally traded down to its third standard deviation. You can see that here. So the point it traded, I marked that third standard deviation on the chart, becomes my target. You can see it having traded down and boom, right into that here. That was the other entry. It went way further. So yeah, I try to trail stop and catch these moves, but they're very hard to do because you get bounces like this every once in a while, and that's enough to annoy you. Anchor VWAP from that swing high down to the lows. Now you had the next anchored VWAP trading. And the next standard deviation line here, you'd see me marking it at 60,000. So that's why I'm sure Bitcoin for a move down to 60,000. Actually, this is a great triangle here. And we have a 10-minute overview range set there on the ForceSweep. I know we'll go a bit back in a second. But this is a triangle type of sideways structure that also has a target, of about 60,000. Just equal lengths, right? If you measure the width of this, extended from one of these last little highs, that's 100% extension of this. If we have downside targets below 60,000, so there's a lot there and reasons why. I've been short the Bitcoin, and it will continue to be until the trend flips. It's just nothing about this decline. The trend is flipped yet. So let's get back to remove our ForceSweep, because we did have a 10-minute opening range set that looks like an ORB kind of, I'm afraid on a day like today where they've already kind of trading into that VWAP, but that doesn't matter. I let that get the best of me yesterday. Need to kind of forget that idea here today. It's pretty about yesterday. I remember, how just remember how successful I'd been in other arenas. So looks like we're going to get that opening range break to the downside now. Whatever this market wants to do, I just want a quick ForceSweep and go home. Okay, here's that break to the downside. We have negative CVD. It's not very negative, but it is negative today. Oh man, don't wick it. Give me a nice clean break so that I feel a lot more comfortable. But it doesn't really matter. I learned my lesson yesterday, trying to be smarter than the system, right? I mean, you got to do something to protect yourself, but it is what it is. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh man, they're going to come right up for it. I hate these wiki ones. I mean, we're so due for one, but this is what I'm going to watch, kind of a trade up into that level. Okay, this is making me feel more comfortable about it. Get another push down, really settle down here, and then come back up. It's ideally what I would like to see happen, but again, fortunately the market just doesn't care what we have to say, does it? Welcome back, everybody. Love seeing the familiar faces. Phil Cal, Nico, Caleb. Guys getting so Calfoot news there. Were you kidding about putting in your 2 weeks notice, man? I mean, if you are going to do that, shoot me a message. I know you can DM me on Twitter now, but Discord's better. DM me on Twitter, and then we'll talk on Discord. Just because if you are, there's a lot of this personal life experience I'll share with you. Things to do, things not to do. Quitting your job to be a trader is one of the things I would strongly test everybody to not do. Try to maintain that other advance of the secondary income while you can become, while you build your base as a trader. If you've got a good nest egg now and you feel like you can step away, like I would literally argue 2 years worth of rent, mortgage, and life expenses set up, just so that you don't feel like you need to risk your rent check, your mortgage check in the market. There is literally no worse feeling in the world in terms of anxiety for me of knowing like I just lost my, my livelihood, so to speak. But anyway, David, welcome, long-time listener, first-time caller. Love to hear it. All right, so I got to get an order in here. We got the ForceSweep has set up the opening range low and we broken to the downside. We've got that downside target now of the low of the day. VWAP's about 94, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw my sell limit order in there at 94 to sell one. Actually, it's about 100 wide, so I need that 100. 93.75, I guess, is where my order is. Okay, not huge. Not a huge deal. Not very different there. But it is about 106 tick target, so be mindful. It's a decent sized trade here. If that's more than what you like risking on a trade, you just scale down. All right, it's going to get a little bigger here because now we are making a new low of the day with some negative CVD, so or with the continuation lower and making new lows in the CVD. Now on any bounce, we just don't want to see this go positive and basically head fake me like it did yesterday, because that was just freaking obnoxious. Bitcoin's not doing much right now. I mean, I'm in a short and not worried, but I am expecting a flush to the downside of this, basically market down towards 60,000 still. I'll cover that too, but we are in the midst of hunting out this ForceSweep setup, because I do love sharing my, success with breakout with folks, because right now that's paying the bills for me. Holy cow. And I owe them some good affiliate work. I'm taking them for all they're worth. The least I could do, right? Continue to make new lows here for the day. And this turbo eval, it's definitely not. Let me refresh the page there. It's a pro-funded 200K account. And like I said, I'm short of 64,000 or 63,400. I thought I was short. I guess I took that trade off and got back in on this bounce. That's what I did. But I have been so rushing it over here lately. All right, hide that. All right, so making new moves of the day here, kind of coming on down, dragging that VWAP lower, definitely a 10-minute range break lower. If this just goes lower, we just may not have a trade tonight. And honestly, I would prefer to have that than a stop out. So, right? I mean, we wouldn't prefer to just not have a trade than a stop out. All right, I've got to cancel my order. I'm moving to a 120 tick wide ATM strategy and NinjaTrader. It's one of the tools I use to manage my trades, because I'm also using Replicato over there to copy trade, which I can't say nicer things about. And hey, whoever owns Replicato, if you hear me, let's get an affiliate deal going, man. I use your products and I'm happy to showcase them because I will happily become affiliated and talk about anything that I use personally. Isn't that the whole point, right? Isn't that the whole point? And actually, folks, I mean, that's in Miko, to kind of come back to you, even giving you 2 weeks notice and saying like, oh, you know, I'm going to become a full-time trader. There's a big reason why I do all this affiliate work right now and other stuff, because it's a nice little side income. Doesn't make much money, but like it does help. It does help right when trading's slow. I mean, the first half of this year, all openly, man, I hadn't had it's been a couple months without a solid payout. But then when it, rains, it pours, so to speak. And here I've pulled in 20 grand in the last 2 days of breakout, right? So I've made a fraction of what I would like to make in a year in just 2 days. And if I keep this ball rolling, which I see no reason why not in this good trading environment, I'll make my entire year in a month. And that's very common for me. Back in my first really profitable year as a trader was in 2011, 2012. That's when I got funded at Top Step. Long story short, over there, I had disagreements with what their funding actually was because it was a different era for Top Step. And they made you jump through a lot of extra hoops. And I was already a trader and traded my own account. And I just said, screw that. I'll go do my own thing. And actually, I just took my track record that went and worked at a firm called Gator Trading Partners. I was on actually worked at Grace Hall Capital before that. Then MF4 happened. Literally the first week of me trading. So I got back, and met them. Wow, I'm thinking about it. Where I met them was the same building I had my wedding reception in, because that's downtown. When it was my single when I quit and did anything, kinda. Okay, we're coming up here, up into 88.50. I got my order at 88.50 right now. I'm gonna fall down a quarter. Nice thing about this one is that I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna be one off the highs. It's all the same. Insert Globex session B1 at this point. Wow, maybe not, but we'll see. The opening range was in that first minute, wasn't I? Kind of hate that when it happens, but the truth is that first mini candle was pretty much the opening range, and we kind of been breaking it lower. So I'm okay with this idea. Hopefully the market is too, because man, after yesterday's what should not have been a stop out for me. But we're coming on up here to 88 quarters. But at 88 even, if you're not familiar with the strategy, 10-minute opening range is broken to the downside. PVD is still very much negative, and has been negative actually since the end of the day, but that's irrelevant to us. This bounce, we've seen price retrace almost 50% of range, while CVE have barely bounced off the lows and hasn't even taken out this other high. So I'm okay with where resistance might be coming in here at this time. I just got to check over on my Bitcoin. Yeah, just waiting for that flush out. Maybe when they both trade together, we'll see them all sell together. We haven't seen that positive correlation with the NQ and Bitcoin in a bit, but man, they totally is trading mad. Gotta come up with a strategy. How do I do that? Because I'm not willing to pull it in. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? Like, what do you do here, folks? That's basically the move I wanted. You know what I mean? I traded the anchor off the last high that we broke down from. New low in the CVD too, so it's like all kosher. Man, let's go down and break down. I mean, this is what's tough. Break down these volume bars, and I was gonna see what we want to see. I guess we can come back up, like, and trade into it. But do we really like that level on a second test? Gotta be really careful here tonight. Markets, trading is never easy, folks. Trading is never easy. Trading is never, it is a... Ah, man, here it goes. So, like, this is exactly, yeah, what you want. I mean, I don't know. That was a little hard. It definitely ran out of steam here. Put the controls up into it, but yeah, I'd do a new O. We'll see. Maybe it's going to come back up and give us another shot at this. We'll continue to monitor things. Bitcoin's not breaking down either. It's kind of weird. But that's a new low for the day. After what feels like what should have been the VWAP trading. They're giving us the breakdown we want to see. We're pulling orders for a minute. We're just going to kind of let this settle down and see what kind of setup it's going to be. Obviously, that was the short we wanted. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I could have applied it to ES as well. I don't really track it on that, but there were nights where the S&P has been a better trade than the NASDAQ, in fact. Alright, so now's where we're down at least. It's the point where the VWAP is aligning with the original 10-minute opening range level. Let's see if it does give us a snapback here, because it's still gone very big though. About a 233 tick move, trade. So there's that. At this point, I am not going to risk above the prior high, the 10-day highs of the day. But we're going to have to be very careful on this snapback and see what happens. Yeah, make some steak sandwiches tonight and drink a cold beer just because it's, after the market does what it needs to us. Very just merely adjusting that entry level stop and stay where it's at, because I know it's, profit levels 240 ticks at this point. Got orders in at around 70. Coming back up slowly here. Tough, because that genuinely could have been the night right there, but it didn't trade the actual VWAP, but pulled that session VWAP, so really big. I don't love though how it traded again, and we've seen this before, where it trades some like anchor off that highs, VWAP to the tick, and like Nico pointed out, the 12 period EMA kind of thing, like something else that just makes sense for mean reversion, but then still sweeps the lows, like in the setup you ultimately wanted to have. You just hate to see it. Let's see if there are any questions here that I missed. Anywhere else bringing up some good points. What prop are you treating BTC with? Haha. Jeez, ubiquitous. It's like you're teeing me up here for a nice advertisement for Breakout. Which, yeah, by the way, if you're going to be looking to trade the prop, particularly sorry, I got distracted here. I trade prop with wait, at least definitely by order here on this chart before we flip over there. Yeah, 70s is still appropriate. Nothing's really changed throughout the setup. So yeah, we broke the opening range. Have headed a little lower here. CVD is negative. But I trade with Breakout. This is Breakout's dashboard. It's actually like they're purchased and acquired by Kraken. So I've been a Kraken customer since Kraken opened in like 2012, 15. A long time, right? I've been with them for over 10 years. And an OG over there. Anyway, they bought Breakout, which is kind of irrelevant to me trading with Breakout. I was trading with Breakout and have my cash accounts over at Kraken. But there's, really cool experience in terms of like, once you're out of a trade, with some profits, I'm short. I've been selling all these vibes, taking out games all day. Does it show all my close trades today? Yeah, like just a ton of them. Come to the point where like, okay, if I was closed down trades here, I just go request the payout to take out what I want. Which is pretty sweet here. I've got $3,100 of payout waiting. And hold on, we gotta watch this order come in here real quick. Updating my order, bringing it down to that 69 area. For the time being. Oh, come on, there we go. All right, 560 at 50, you win. Come back to Breakout in a second here, folks. I just want to update my little ForceSweep chart, because let's be fair, that's what we're all here for. But I do want to expose everybody and show you guys a little bit more what I do in terms of crypto and Bitcoin trading, because obviously it's successful. And the model I run is very similar to this. I use VWAPs in everything I do. I look for price, participation, and I can't even think of the other thing, but participation is your volume, side of things, and open interest and order flow. What are everybody else in the marketplace doing wants, and what's the narrative behind it. But yeah, so while we're waiting for that to come up the trade, like Breakout today, I got, since yesterday here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different payouts of one pending, so that $1,100 here will go up and add to this $4,000 I don't have. Luckily, I don't make anything affiliate-wise. We'll go into this $4,000. They also be like more $4,200, $300. That I'll withdraw out to my, in US dollar stable coin. But it's pretty cool. I've been fighting to stay in the top 10 here in the leaderboard, but that's not really what I'm doing. Yeah, 111,000 net payout with them. And my history since September for last year, not even, but half a year, they offer, 3/4 of a year I've been with them. So yeah, this is a side job for me as much as anything. I cleared the 100,000 mark with them recently, and I've got nothing bad to say about Breakout. I actually if you notice here in the payouts, the account number switches here, because last night we had an issue with the platform. It's a new platform, it's worked out the bugs and everything. Right? They've been worked out for the most part, but like any platform, you didn't have issues. They stood by, their traders, and I just emailed them saying, hey, yeah, I was caught in a big position in that. I took some heat. I couldn't, by the time I got back in, it was almost breached me and, had taken a big loss. And they're like, we'll reset the account for you. So they reissued my 200K Pro account, and that's the new numbers between the 2 days here. But yeah, this is basically the same 200K account I've been rocking for the last few days. I got absolutely nothing bad to say about Breakout. Run by good people. Use code Sith if you want to go check them out. And actually, real quick while we're waiting, just checking out like the cost of these evals. A turbo $5,000, which gives you $25,000 of purchasing power. So you can trade like almost half of Bitcoin there in this one account. The goal is $450. I know it is a $5,000 account. 3% loss on it, so it's not much. And what is that, 100? It only lose like $150 there, but like at $20 a shot, you could trade each one of these turbos like their own account. I like the pros. They're a little more expensive, but it basically gives you 2 days worth of drawdown. I went with the 200,000 because while the target is 24K, which is huge, and you see it in 2 days of me grinding out, like you can pass these things in a day, no problem. The $200,000 account with the funding gets you $1 million worth of mine power, because this is all leverage 5-to-1, up to 5-to-1 leverage, you can see here. With a $6,000 daily loss on it, which you have to be careful, that is a hard breach. But max drawdown of 10 grand on that. So now trading a 1 or 2 BTC, taking maybe $200 to $500 risk per trade to make a couple grand. And as you can see, I've had 14 successful trades here, and every time I close out a trade, I come up here with that profit, request the payout, and sweep it, request all, withdraw, and sweep it over into this pending list, and then get shoved up into your breakout payout. And I'm not going to the breakout payout screen because you'll see I'd inadvertently show you my my Ethernet wallet or my Ether wallet. So, but yeah, pretty cool prop firm. Nobody's doing it like them. Stand by their client, great support, and use code Sith over there. You get a few extra % off. But I was showing you the prices of all of those accounts because they've dropped those prices by like 40%. So if you could imagine that $1,000 for a 200K fund or pro account, that was $1,600 or whatever it was a few weeks ago. Dropping it down to 1,000 makes it a much more realistic spend for me. And honestly, I kind of stopped trading with them for a little bit because Bitcoin prices had come down. Like to me, those costs made sense. Like 40% higher per account cost made sense when Bitcoin was at 90,000, 100,000. Now that we've come so far down and crypto's lost a huge amount of market value, it's good to see they adjusted their prices, accordingly. In my humble opinion, right about 200 point risk on this thing, or 200 tick risk, I should say. Working my orders are like 65, 75. That works for me. Regular CBD, very little in the bounce on it. That's why I'm still okay working this and coming after this trade, even though we kind of saw one trade that I sometimes would make me weary. And I still am a little bit, but I think it's been a really good trade. So we'll see. I'll as a card beach as an account closer. Yeah, the maximum loss limit is at 10 grand, but that's also a static loss limit. So you just have to pay attention to resets every day. It's at 7:30, that 3,000 or that 3% daily loss limit resets every day at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. That's your daily roll. Yeah, the daily loss limit is a hard breach. That is the one drawback. But the static loss limit is absolutely disgusting. And I mean, it's huge, right? Like you can have on a $200,000 account, there's no reason you should lose 6 grand in a day. Trading 1 and 2 Bitcoin. Like if you've gone on that much of a losing streak, like take the day off, you know what I mean? I'm usually go max 1 to 2,000 in the hole. Agreed. And I will also say this. You have to be aware that there are funding fees that you're going to end up paying because it mimics a cash or perks account. The commissions are a little big. You get into one Bitcoin, you're going to pay $40 in a commission. Almost, $40 in a commission. And if you mark it in, you're probably going to get filled $20 to $40 more. So you're talking about $100 in cost just to get into, get in and out of a Bitcoin position. But Bitcoin moves around more than enough to make up for that. In fact, the volatility in crypto is there. Now that's Bitcoin. I don't trade any other currencies there. Crypto's there, but you can trade any number, pretty much all of them. So you just gotta be aware of the caveats. But the drawdowns are so big that the bigger accounts are worth it if you're gonna take it slow and take it seriously. Get used to it with the cheap accounts over there. Get a bunch of $5,000 accounts and just treat 10 of them, YOLO a little bit, figure out how it works, and then that standard drawdown on a pro account is absolutely the coolest thing because the account acts like a cash account. I really wish other prop accounts worked that way, but I understand why they don't because, and I understand the risk model breakouts working with they're expensive to begin with. Their accounts are cheap, and the evals are exceedingly hard. I mean, on a $50,000 account over there, you've got to make $6,000, so it's 2x what a prop, what a futures prop target is, right? It's very doable because of the volatility in crypto, though. But you got to be aware. You got to be aware of where, right? All those things are at times. But again, that standard drawdown is a game changer. It really is. I mean, 10 grand on this 200K to trade 1 and 2 out of Bitcoin. You can swing trade too. You can hold through the weekends, hold through the nights. You do pay a per 4-hour margin fee, just it's a tick, kind of interest you pay on holding a per position. But if you are trading Bitcoin perps or trading crypto perps, definitely take a look at Breakout. Take a look at the Bitcoin prop firms because they genuinely are giving the perps a run for their money. I lost a bunch of money on October 11th last year, or whenever that crash was, and that's when I swore off trading the perps. I mean, I was fired. I'm doing great in the perps until all of a sudden, the liquidity goes and just the market falls out, and you're like, what? I thought we were beyond that in these markets, but you're not, and you never are when you're in the cash or trading a live account. And that can be true of futures too, though, so I've got stories to tell in that regard as well. Not right now per se, but all right, they're ending that entry down a little bit here. Just kind of adjusting the orders, making sure it's about 200 tick risk. Stop tree is just 1-to-1. That's how I've always traded this. You could probably do better. And hey, if you do find out a better solution, let me know. I'm always open to criticism. EBD is super negative, just sitting on lows. I do like the way this looks right now. You've got basically old support, now resistance with the VWAP. A lot of things go its way in terms of the way, what I like seeing when a trade comes. Yeah, that's okay. I had a great run up in Bitcoin being long into the 120,000 highs. I made a bunch of money and then I gave a lot back. I was also running I was very long. So I owned a lot of Tron as well. I'd stake it, but they aren't the rewards, and then I would rent out the energy. But earned 20 to 20% return is incredible. In Tron back, right? So if you had under the 100,000 Tron, you would make 20,000 Tron over the course of an entire year, reinvesting it basically and staking it in itself. And you had to do energy sales and rental, which is a whole nother gambit. But what I also did was that I took my Sol and Ethereum earnings that I staked, or I put both of those up in, God, what is the, I took and thank goodness I got out before, because I actually was early in on taking my ether and staking it over with Dow, which actually just kind of blew up. So I'm so glad I was out of that a long time ago, because I've been out of ether and Sol since about late October. So I really sold those really well. I mean, like up in the 4,000 area for ether and about 300 for all my Sol. But so what I did was I took those and I staked them for their for yield earnings with Dow, and then Sol I just natively staked, and then I took that staked Sol and because I didn't want it locked up and staked. I wanted it so the liquid staking, right? So I got those both in the liquid staking, Cheeto Sol, that's what it was, and Dow. So I had the liquid staking coins for those. In theory, you're earning the staking rewards while holding that alternate coin for it. Then I took those coins and I put them onto CalDAO, and what's the other website that I used for the whole? I'll tell you in 1 second here. It was... Why can't I think where I was doing it all? Oh, Camino Finance, that's where it was. Yeah, it was over Camino. So Camino is like the same, it was like the same as the Sol as Ade is the Ether. And so I staked those and took loans out then against them, US dollar, USDT, Tether loans. As max as I can basically afford while giving myself some room for volatility. I then swapped the Tether for more Tron and then staked the Tron. So I had staked Ether and Sol that I had loans against that then was converted to Tron to earn the yield in Tron. I was yield farming, right, for a good year, portion of the year, because it's great, you know, to earn some good float on your crypto, but you're also very susceptible to the volatility in the market. And a lot of the staking mechanisms lock your coins up for a period of time that take time to then unlock and get out. So you can get stuck in coins that you don't necessarily want to hold and then get liquidated. So you have to be ahead of the curve on the volatility moves, which I did a pretty good job of until I started trading the perps, and you know, that's where the volatility got me, and gave back a good chunk of those gains for the year that I had in other things. But so I was earning that, you know, 6% from Ethereum. I was earning that 10% from Sol. Then I turned around and took out loans and USDT against them and then swapped that for Tron and was earning then this Tron yield that was greater than the float I was paying in interest on those loans. So yeah, I was yield farming. And then I unwound that entire position into basically the end of the year. Last year when I got my, you know, my spidey sense came out and said, oh, crypto's in a bear market now. I went back to cash, got out of my long and physical positions, because I don't believe in holding through bear markets. All these assets lose 80 to 90% in the downtrends. There's no reason to be diamond hands. Get the fuck out and get back in a year. Like, diamond hands is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I mean, I don't know a single trader that's been holding since 2012. You mean to tell me you bought Bitcoin back then, and through 3 subsequently bull markets and 3 nasty bear markets, you didn't do anything? Yeah, that's you. The only people who've done that have forgot their keys and then found them later and, you know, are grateful that they stumbled upon this lottery ticket, you know? I've been in and out of crypto since 2012, buying the rallies, selling the tops, and it's been a side piece of my personal trading. So if you got questions about it, I can answer just about anything. Have I watched Cultivated Crypto and Cross Crypto? I don't love everything they say. No, I haven't. I should probably check out other influencers. But if they're smart guys, yeah, I'll check them out. I've been trading the Globex ForceSweep for this strategy for just over a year. Last year, this strategy was the mainstay in my run-up on Apex, where I made $386,000 with some 20 times 300K accounts. Yeah, and there was a period last year from early through like March or something that when I went on a 60-day year, no loss days, and that's where I crushed Apex and then eventually got the eval ban and still have not been welcomed back. bastards, but that's okay. I don't really want to trade with Apex anymore, if it all changes, to be frank. But however, I do still see them as the greatest opportunity for anyone looking to scale your strategy. But don't start with Apex. Apex is the end game. They're the final boss of prop firms. Start with the other ones, Tradeify, Lucid, maybe even Top Step. Even though Mike Patak and I have some beef to squash from a decade ago. But yeah, I've been trading forever, and Apex began to be because initially they gave me the eval ban. Oh no, dude, that just trade and not fill me? Son of a bitch. Well, folks, I'm gonna be... Yep, that's exactly it. That's just, it was just, oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? I mean, there was nothing I could have done there that was so fast, even though I'm talking. There's no pulling that one in. We're gonna be patient here and see if it comes back up. There was that fill into 63s. So that's just not my night for this, I guess, you know? Which I guess is okay, because I've had such a big week with crypto and with my breakout, like I can't win them all. Well, of course, right now I'm about to take a step on that breakout, it looks like. Then they missed my stop so far. Yeah, here they're gonna come back up for another shot at this, I think. Now we hold the hell, but holds, right? It is always hard not to be emotional and to just take it easy when it comes to the way markets might treat or behave. Because they can always be fickle. Patience here, patience. If we get that one more push up, let's watch this happen with some volume, footprints. Honor 61 traded now. Last one, we're starting to push above that point of control, so I wouldn't be shocked if we don't get that push up into this VWAP here. We arguably, let's check out that 100 tip chart. We arguably do have a decent trend line that if I don't get in, there's a line on this chart to maybe sell, on a breakdown up. But I do think we're gonna get that final push up here into the VWAP. Let's see what happens. I'm working 62.75. It's a little bit of an aggressive front run, I would say, at this point. But I don't want them to not get me. Rah. Do it, do it, do it. Mm. 52. Almost pulled it in myself there. Now I'm not loving this downdraft without me. Bitcoin doing up here holding that high still. Yeah, I kind of felt like I should have pulled that in there. And yes, Apex is definitely a one-shot for once you get to that max payout and start running it up. That's pretty much it for you. You're either going to go live or they're going to ban you. Having down the callback for the live is effectively it. Well, I don't know. No idea what they're going to do. Alright, I am going to likely have to be forced to kind of come in here a little late in the game. Be patient and see if they do give us one more push-up, because that I am down isn't very convincing. Yeah, wasn't convinced by it yet. And if they come, I'm going to come back up for it. They throw another shot here. No. No, yes, no. I mean, I'm getting really close to pulling it in myself, and it'll be another big regret of mine if we get that push up anyway, but I'm not convinced by this selling pressure shit. I feel like they need a capitulating push higher, and it might come here into the top of this hour. What does the hourly candle look like? Just that's not very convincing for now. It's wanting to make sure it didn't look like it was about to do this big reversal on us. Okay, here we go. Trying to do it for me, which I hope we still want it if it goes. This looks like it wants to pop to like 70 and then hopefully come back down. Here we go. 60, 62.75. As I want it, 62.75. Give it to me, give it to me. Careful what I wish for, I suppose. Alright, I'm going. Fold it in. Sure, we're gonna fill it. That's okay. I'm willing to fold that in at this point. That's close enough for me. I mean, really should have probably been weighted there, but making bad decisions over here, guys. The Sith Lord is, but they just edging us. I mean, they're reminiscent of a few nights ago. Say that much. Stops up there at 410, 50, or should be. It's the kind of technical level. We won't stay up there for long. It's just to keep it out of the way of any particularly large spike up. But okay, I am officially short. We'll see if it... And then downside target here is down just at 16s. Got mine a little lower just because I marketed in, but you guys know how I roll it. If we go back down there, I'm definitely trying it in to get stopped at 16s, right? We'll see what happens here. Not much else to do. I'm going to go start making my dinner. I'm doing steak sandwiches tonight. Sith Trader specialty, Sith household specialty. Kind of telling my kids have no idea how good they eat. Better check Bitcoin too. How's that doing? Oh man, it's coming up to try to get me. I hate that. Damn, Bitcoin might want to go higher from here. Or they got me, didn't they? Yeah, they got me. Or just they had to stop over there. That's fine. Yeah, they push it. Really quiet. What do you want for reaction so far over here? Of course, now they trade the VWAP. Now y'all should be short. Everybody should be short on that entry. I mean, I guess you don't have to be. Some of you are sure fading me tonight. Alright, that's aggressively dumb. Not go straight through in here. Alright, because we're pushing through, we needed to watch now this volume. Hate to say it, man, it's due for like a stop out. That's why I'm so hesitant now. 112, not a huge move. Everybody's trapped up top, but they're point of control. Well, a little buyer here at the VWAP, that's weird. You'd think you're just solid there. Coming back down below the VR period, a hurry will be a good thing, and then we want to see get back below this kind of like area. There's a lot of point of control around that 30,058 area, and then, honestly, after that, yeah, no, it's 30,054 and 58. Let's see if that's it. What the heck is going on here? Okay, that was strange. Oh, hey, I guess I forgot to mention here, it is a bit of a larger setup here today, so, trade risk-wise accordingly. CVD barely any reaction off lows, so I'd be shocked if this thing doesn't roll over and sweep down to the lows for us. But it's not up to us, is it? CVD's not been doing me justice though. Yesterday misled me. I hope today is not another day it does that. I got back. Okay, let's just go for 20 grand on this trade. Nah, not my style. Okay, I'm gonna go start heating up the griddle and start making some sandwiches. Need to feed some kids. Got a wife. Boy, did your wife get hungry. Trust me on that one. Sith Trader real life. Advice over here. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Don't forget to use that code Sith so my kids can eat. I'll be back in a minute. I'm around. I'm watching. Shoot those questions in the chat. I'll get to them in a second when I come right on back. We're in the ForceSweep short here off the VWAP, looking for a new sweep down to new lows of the day. That's 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. See what happens. Be fair to me about that time, it probably makes sense to try to start trailing a stop or doing something to protect gains on a trade like this. If you like 10 points, you should probably take it. Here it comes, folks, and from my stop down to probably 51, 52s here. Well, it's coming down quick. We're going to start locking in gains here. 35 quarter probably going to be where my stop goes. 34, maybe 75s. Let me give it a hot second here. Come on. I'm worried it's going to come all the way back up, right? Like I always am. I mean, this is a great trade so far if you just trail it. All right, let's see, one more push down. I'll put all my stops down. Yeah, I want to get my stop in a 34 area. Give me one more flush. Flush down to 25s. Come on. There we go. Come on. Where we got a few minutes here. Right. The pole I stopped down to 31s. All right, I'm out. I'm trying to out a little early, but I'm just gonna, after yesterday's debauchery and F up, I'm happy with that trade, and I'm gonna be sitting here watching it to the end. I think we'll get the full ForceSweep. The target will probably get filled, but I got stakes on the griddle. I'll take my plus $500 today after yesterday's mess up, and kind of, after rebuild my account a little bit here. So be mindful of where the market's at for that. Let's see if the full ForceSweep happens. I'll be around. I think stops to break even at the VWAP is like at the very least we should probably do at this point. So we'll see what happens here, folks.
Cracky.
Those are the folks. Another ForceSweep in the books. I hope you all caught it. Edged us a little bit, but we stayed true. That's like 6 or 7 in a row. This is a heater for the ForceSweep. I'm gonna go finish this steak sandwiches. I hope everybody had a great night. And we will be back with you all as price action evolves. Before you go though, do check out that dark side trial. Head over to my X, shoot me a reply to the pinned dark side trials post. Submit a 30-second video of a winning the futures trade, a risk management screenshot, or how you would conquer a lucid eval post. I will pick 5 to 10 winners depending on how many submissions we get. Those winners will be placed in the semi-final or the finalist round through the weekend and on Sunday night or into Monday morning, rather Monday morning probably. We'll have a Total X poll that's been running. First place gets a 50k Pro Lucid Eval, second place a 50k Flex Lucid Eval, and third place a 25k Lucid Pro Eval. Use code Sith and Breakout and Lucid to check those places out. Thanks for joining me tonight. And remember, trading features involves risk. It's not suitable for everyone. Everything you see here today was just my opinion and not trading advice. Have a great night, everybody.